Good afternoon. This is Dr. Anthony Vici. The topic today is behavior never lies. Well, before we say that, we need to ask ourselves, what is the actual description of behavior? Behavior is the way that you act or conduct yourself, especially in front of others. Now, what would it mean to you if you really understood when you observe people in terms of looking at their behavior, whether they are truthful or they're actually lying in what they're doing? Let's go one step back and understand then what does behavior mean? Well, behavior means the way that you act or conduct yourself. Now, those are two specific things. Let's look at the word conduct first. Conduct is the way that you direct or perform. Now, look at that. If you conduct yourself, that means you are performing in such a way that people can see what you're doing. They're seeing the real deal. There's no nonsense about the way that you're trying to protect who you are. And then directing is something that you do in a specific way. Take the person that is leading an orchestra, that is directing an orchestra, is really just taking that which is already there and directing it. So directing yourself, and really when you're conducting yourself, as just the way that you are, using that which already is there. However, when you look at the word act, we've got the following. Nice to see you, Marilena. It's great to always have you on. And that is that when you look at act, you look at the two words. So one is effort, and the second one is the danger one called pretense. Now, when you are basically behaving, there could be effort involved. You are doing certain things in a certain way, but the one to watch out for is the one pretense. Pretense meaning that you're doing it in such a way that is not really the real you. Now, why is that? You know, we looked at behavior by observation before, and today I'm just drilling a little bit deeper in terms of understanding how behavior comes from two major things. Because behavior really is natural behavior and adapted behavior. Now, the question you want to ask yourself is, when you are acting out who you are you literally being natural, or are you adapting to your situation? Now, none of them is bad. It just all depends on where you are and what is happening. I'm Dr. Anthony Fontonda. I've got a PhD in leadership and management, as well as a PhD in behavioral analysis, the stuff that I'm busy working with. Guys, I have seen this being applied all over the world, and it doesn't matter whether it was America, whether it was Malaysia, whether it was Australia, it's all the same. People all have to behave. They have to act out. And I've learned one thing, behavior never lies. So how do I help you just get a step closer in terms of using this in your business, being this in a normal business or even a network marketing business? All of these skills can be applied. So I just want to bring you back to who are we working with. When we're working with people, there's normally the 4 behavioral styles. The first one is the D. Now that is your driver. That is the kind of person that is always on a mission. They love a challenge. They just want to get to places fast. The next person we work with is the I, the influencer. These are the kind of people that enjoy life, have fun while they're doing it, and normally inspire a lot of other people. Then we have the S's, the supporters, salt of the earth people, loyal to the bone. You love being with them. You love making friends with them. Thanks for all the kisses and loves. It's great to see you. Michelle, happy to have you on here as well. And then the C, well, that basically will be your person that is compliant, the person that really brings us all back to earth and say, hold on, there's a certain way to do things. Now, when it comes to this behavior in terms of natural and adaptive, it's a big thing. When you are in your natural behavior, you obviously are acting the way that you should be acting normally. But when you adapt your behavior, it could be manipulation, or it could be just a natural way of coping. Now, coping mechanism is not necessarily manipulation, because a natural behavior says, this is the way I do things, but the adaptive says, I thought it through, and I do it this way for a certain reason. So when we look at the 4 behavioral styles, remember, these people work in a specific way. What are they driven by? We know that the D is driven by results. So when it comes to their behavior, you will see them act out fast. You will see them take action. You'll even hand action like this, do this now. Yes, I made this sound because that is exactly the way that they work. The influencer, how do they basically work? Well, they are driven by recognition. This is like, hello, I'm here. Anybody notice I've been in the room? Hey, check at me, I've got a new jacket on. So we basically know that they are recognized and they're driven by this recognition that other people give them. Now remember again for today, the DISC, the DISC, I'm exaggerating, and don't put yourself in one of these boxes, but you'll recognize your behavior. That's what it's about. Let me go to the S. What do they look like? Well, this is the relationship person. Thank you for those kisses here. And the loves. The relationship person that says, please make time to talk to me. Please make time so I can just connect with you. In fact, please don't force me to make an appointment to have a cup of tea with you. I feel so second grader when I have to do that. We have the friendship, because to them, it's all about that relationship. And then when we get to the C, well, they're driven by being right. They love to study, they're conscientious, and they normally have got things on their fingertips. They're brilliant about looking at the past, they're looking at analysis and saying step 1, step 2, step 3. Now we know who they are, but you know, the topic today is about behavior never lies. So back to observable behavior. I'm going to give you 2 sets of recognizable traits of the DISC that you can use in your business, that you can use when you are busy building your network marketing. Amanda Ludick, my gosh, I am just so thrilled to have you on here. This is an old friend of mine. We've been buddies for years, married to one of my best friends, Pete Ludick. So great to have you on. Hello, Eleni, all the way from Zimbabwe. So back to the topic. When we now look at this behavior, what does it look like when you observe it? What happens when you see this D entering the room? They normally are very powerful. Say the word powerful. They can't help it. They have a presence. They have, like the Germans speak, Gestalt. They just are there. You notice them. It often happens that a person that has got a driver personality, even if they're short, people won't call them short because they just have a presence, because they know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and how to get people to do it. In fact, they're brilliant at helping people take action. If you're one of those people that sort of like, yes, no, shall I do it, shall I not do it? The driver is the best person to partner with, because when it comes to business, because of your natural behavior and your adapted behavior, you might have to adapt to partnering with this person that is not like you. That's the opposite of you, and that's why you both get results. So when we look at the I, well, what about them? They are popular. Where we had the D's that were powerful, well, the I's normally are popular. These people are very popular. People love being with them because they know how to create a sphere of influence. They know how to create a sphere of motivation. But I want to say to you, watch out. You can be motivating people in such a way that it's just go, 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 go. And 2 days later go, well, I'm excited, but I don't know why. So that's why sometimes people will lose the reason why they're doing it. Leon, also great to see you. So make sure that when you use these traits to build your business, be it normal, be it your network marketing business, that you apply it with that in mind. How do I apply it knowing who these people are? We had there the D, powerful, the I, very popular. What about the S? My gosh, I actually have forgotten for a moment. This is why I've forgotten, because I can't think of people like this. They basically are peaceful. They become so peaceful. So when you see an S, as they walk in, there's a peace, there's an aura of just, I'm relaxed, I'm smiling. Because remember, when we spoke about the observable behavior the week before, we said they've got that grin. I'm happy to see you. But they might not even communicate to you because they don't have to talk. Gilbert, great to have you on again. I mean, this is, Gilbert is like me, passionate about business and applying these principles, Gilbert. This is what's going to help us, again, build massive, massive teams. So hang in there, buddy. It's the study of people that makes us go to the next level. So we have that they are very, very peaceful. So what do we see in general when we speak to our high melancholy, the high C, the Mr. Compliant? Well, we see the word perfect. They sort of always have perfection in mind. They want to be perfect in the way that they dress. They want to be perfect in the way that they speak. And they want to be perfect at the way that they do things. Now, this is sometimes the worst enemy that you can have. Let's go back to those 4. If you see that the D, that is very powerful, guess what? You can be so powerful that you can overwhelm people. You can walk over people's backs, hurt them, and not even know. And you just go like, yes, got the job done. Nobody, look behind you. You've got a lot of dead bodies. Pick them up. Thanks for the loves. Great to see you. I can see that you're enjoying what I'm doing today. When you look at the eyes, I mean, what really happens to them? We say that these are very popular. Now, popularity can be the very thing that does submarine your business. Because if you just want to be me, look at me, kiss yourself all the time. Hello in the mirror, you beautiful thing. And by the way, I'm married to a high influence, and I laugh every morning. She looked at the mirror and said, you beautiful thing. And I just have to smile because yes, they are popular, but they're popular within themselves. But don't abuse the popularity, especially if you know that people really love being with you. Don't abuse your popularity. When we come to the S's, peaceful. You said they are peaceful. You know, which is a way that you basically in business or in life have that account against you. You're so peaceful that nothing happens. In Afrikaans, there's a saying, "Doe het goed en goed doen." In other words, you basically procrastinate. Shall I do it? Shall I not do it? So because you are inactive, not taking action, nothing happens. So you are too peaceful. The very thing that we spoke about, Mr. Compliant here, is the word perfect. If you are this perfectionist, that everything has to be perfect before you do it, Eleni, it's coming in my mind, sometimes you are your own worst enemy. You want to make sure that you've mastered the skill. You want to make sure that before you pick up the phone to phone a client, that you know exactly what to say. You will never be able to know exactly word by word how to follow a script. Take a script and make it your own. If you pick up the phone to make a business deal with a person, if you want to be perfect, you're going to fall flat on your nose. So there's a dead giveaway that you are who you are, but it really can play a vital role in terms of how you take it and apply it to your business. But with the time that I've got left, I want to give you one vital other part of this business that's going to help you go next level. And that is what happens to you or these behavioral styles under pressure. Because remember, we're speaking about natural behavior versus adapted behavior. Natural behavior says you are conducting yourself in the way that things should be. But adapted behavior could be one of two things. It could be performing or it could be pretending. Now, with the D, what happens to them under pressure? They become difficult. Now, this is where I want you to know that the driver is not in any way trying to pretend to be somebody else. Because when they get to that difficult mode, Gilbert Deschalain, you and me, people know. And then I'm going to say to you, back off, buddy. Because when in females, if you are a driver, you become difficult. Oh my gosh, this is a dead giveaway for relationships. If you're married, if you ever heard those words, oh, woman, you are just so difficult. Please listen up. It says that you're under pressure, which means you may have been able to have adapted behavior and conduct yourself in such a way so that everybody can understand you. But when in your natural behavior, you basically default. That's a word. Default is like a computer. You default to exactly who you are. So the D becomes difficult. What happens to the influencer? The letter I gives it away. They become impossible. Like the driver was difficult, the I just becomes impossible. They say yes, they said no. The emotions are high, then they say they want it, then they don't want it. And you just think to yourself, I just don't know how to manage this person better. Well, in business, the moment when they're under pressure and the pressure that you're applying is too much to help them get a result, because bless you, everybody that's in a network marketing business lead in such a way to help our people get results. In other words, get results through people. But when the I, or the influencer especially, becomes impossible all of a sudden, back off. You're pushing too hard. That is just what happens. Which is the dead giveaway for what we said, the supporter, the loyal person, the salt of the earth person. How do we know that under pressure we've gone too far? This person that actually never says yay or nay becomes stubborn. They say, no, I won't. And let me tell you one thing, when they fold their arms, they're going nowhere. There's a little animal that comes to mind with long ears. No. And they just go, I can hear it. So if your people become stubborn, it means you have pushed them too far and they're under pressure. And then lastly, what happens to the person that is compliant? This person here, that is Mr. Compliant, they become under pressure. Only one thing, critical. But this critical now cuts two ways. Firstly, they become critical of themselves. All of a sudden, I'm not good enough. I will never be able to do this. Because remember, when they're under severe pressure, they can actually become a little bit depressive. So I'm not saying all compliant people become depressive, but they are more apt to becoming depressed. And the second thing is, They become critical of others and of conditions. They look at their bosses. Their boss is never good enough. Their boss is the biggest hole in the world. They look at the situation. The situation is never good enough. The timing is never right. So they start becoming overcritical, and that's why we just do not see any results out of these people. So friends, what I can say to you today is behavior never lies. We have a way, when it comes to behavior, being natural and being adapted, to say to ourselves, number one, do we have this person that we're working with this in our business or in our team? Are we speaking to them in a natural way, or have they adapted to the circumstance? Now, adaptation is good. That means that the driver that normally is powerful can literally gear down and say to himself, hey, I want to work into the popular area. Now, that's very hard for a driver because they're normally not popular. Trust me, because people don't always like them, but people respect them. But you can work on your popularity. So that adaptation to the side that is nicer than I is awesome. Imagine if the driver went and he got the skills of the S to be pleasant and peaceful. Oh my gosh, watch the weather, it's going to snow. But it is possible because that kind of adaptation, adapting to that behavior is not pretending. That is not taking, understanding that the word act has gone to the next level up there to say, I will go into a mode that is beneficial to the other person. Now, my friend, every single time that you act in such a way for the benefit of others, it is a win. In fact, it's a win-win, a win for you and a win for them. And can you just think about the ICs, when they really have the ability to hit perfection? If you're not able to say, hold on. I mean, sometimes the drivers are just so fast, they do it 70% and that's good enough. Now, there's another way of another behavioral style that we'll talk about later on. That's a dead giveaway. But if they can really perfect, as opposed to just quickly slapping it together, I mean, what does it help to put up? I can just see a divider between two offices. You just quickly put it in and say, there, it's done. But as you walk away here, bam, the whole thing has fallen down. I can tell you one thing, then you were acting in your true character. So wrapping this up, you have natural behavior and you have adaptive behavior. You have to understand what behavior is. Behavior is acting the way you act or conduct yourself, especially in front of others. So behavior is influenced by other people. Now, Dale Moody says, character is who you are in the dark. Now, please, always realize there are certain things that you can do and get away with because they're not public, because you're doing them in private. However, character is who you are in the dark. If I had to ask you for a moment, just for a moment, to close your eyes with me, and I'll say it again, character is who you are in the dark. Then you and I will want to become the people that we can be. Then it's got nothing to do about natural or adaptive behavior, but just being the human being that you've been created to do, to become. And every single human being has got such potential. So I want to thank all of you that have been here today. Thank you for all your support. If you think this is going to help somebody else, then this is the time to hit the button and hit share the moment I've uploaded this. Also, what you want to do is maybe get to the bottom and tell me what are one or two problems that you have seen when it comes to behavior that could be a challenge. I will take those, and the next time we speak, because remember, this is Free Coaching Friday with Doc Ant. Next time we speak, I will take this, I will answer it, and make it practical for you and help you with that practical solution. This is Dr. Anthony, loving this topic, because you know what? It just never gets to the end of it. I can't wait to speak to you next week. Remember, at the bottom, if you have any suggestions of clarification that you need, please write them, and please hit share and share it with people. Thank you for all the loves coming through, because you know this is live and this is taking some of my time, but it's worth it because of you. Thank you. Have a great week. See you next Friday.